Many English learners struggle with the difference between say and tell, and sometimes choosing the wrong word can make your sentence sound incomplete or confusing to a native speaker. Hello, and welcome back to the English Cast. I'm Ryan.
Hi everyone, I'm Emma, and we're very happy to have you with us today.
Today we are talking about two verbs that are incredibly common, yet they mean almost the exact same thing. Say and tell. When you translate these words into other languages, there is often just one single word that covers both meanings. So it is totally natural that English learners find themselves pausing in the middle of a sentence wondering, wait, did she say me or did she tell me?
It is such a common moment of confusion. We see it all the time. But the good news is that we have a very simple way to help you remember the difference. You really don't need to memorize any complicated grammar rules or textbook terms today. You just need to look at who is listening.
Exactly. Let's start with the word tell. The word tell always needs a target. It needs a receiver. You always have to tell someone. You tell a friend, you tell your boss, you tell me, or I tell you. The person who is listening has to be right there in the sentence, immediately after the word.
I like to picture the word tell as throwing a baseball directly to another person. If I throw the ball, someone has to be standing there to catch it. So, in English, I would say, please tell me the time. The word me is the person catching the information. You can't just throw the ball into an empty room.
That is a wonderful visual. It makes it very clear. Now, what about our other word, say? Say is quite different. Say focuses purely on the words themselves, not the person who is listening. You don't need a target to catch the ball.
Right. With say, you are just putting your words out into the air. For example, you might tell a story and mention, she said hello. We don't know who she was talking to, and honestly, it doesn't matter. The focus is entirely on the word hello.
Let's look at a short, everyday story to really feel how these two words work in real life. Imagine you are planning a surprise birthday party for a coworker named Sarah.
Oh, planning a surprise party is always so stressful. You have to keep track of who knows what. So, imagine you are in the office break room and you are talking to another coworker, Mark. You want to make sure Mark keeps the secret safe.
Right. So you look directly at Mark and you say, please don't tell Sarah about the party. You use tell because the information is going directly to a specific person, Sarah. She is the target you're trying to avoid.
Exactly. But let's imagine Mark is a little bit forgetful. Later that afternoon, Sarah walks into the room and innocently asks what everyone is doing this weekend. Mark panics. He accidentally blurts out, "We are having a big party."
Oh no, the surprise is completely ruined. So you pull Mark aside into the hallway and you ask him, why did you say that?
Notice how Ryan used say in that question. Why did you say that? He didn't ask, why did you tell that? Because he is focusing on the specific words that came out of Mark's mouth. The words, "we are having a big party," are the problem, not the person who is listening.
It makes a lot of sense when you picture the situation happening in front of you. If your focus is on the person receiving the secret, you use tell. If your focus is on the secret itself, you use say.
This brings us to a very realistic mistake that we hear all the time. Because these two words are so similar in meaning, learners naturally mix up the target rule.
Yes, I hear this specific mistake at least once a week, even from advanced speakers. A learner might want to share something their friend mentioned yesterday. They will say, "My friend said me that the movie was good."
Said me. I hear that constantly too. It's a very logical mistake to make because you are trying to combine the action of speaking with the person who is listening. But in English, the word say rejects the target. It pushes the target away.
Exactly. You cannot put a person immediately after the word say. If you want to include the person who is catching the ball, you must use tell. So the correct natural sentence is, "My friend told me that the movie was good."
My friend told me. It sounds so much smoother and more natural. Now, if you really absolutely want to use the word say and still include the listener, you have to build a little bridge using the word to. You would have to say, my friend said to me that the movie was good.
But honestly, native speakers rarely do that in casual, everyday conversation. It sounds a bit heavy and overly formal. Using told me is much more natural and efficient for daily life.
Let's talk a bit about how we use these words in daily, polite conversations. In the workplace or when making social plans, choosing the right word can make you sound very professional and friendly.
Definitely. For example, think about passing on a message. If you answer the phone at work and the caller wants to speak to your manager who is busy in a meeting, you wouldn't use say.
Right. You would say, I will tell him you called. Again, we have a clear target him. It sounds incredibly professional and reassuring to the person on the phone because it guarantees the message will land in the right hands.
On the other hand, we use say in polite speech when we are quoting someone or repeating a recommendation. If you are at a nice restaurant and your friend asks what the waiter recommended, you might say, "The waiter said the fish is excellent today."
Notice how the focus there is completely on the food recommendation. You aren't focusing on who the waiter was looking at when he spoke. The words themselves, the fish is excellent, are the star of the sentence.
There are also a few fixed expressions that native speakers use all the time where we always use tell. These are exceptions you just have to memorize, but they are very common. For example, we always tell a story, tell a joke, and tell the truth.
Oh, that's a brilliant point. You never say a story or say a joke. Even though you aren't always mentioning a specific listener in those sentences, the action of storytelling or joking implies that you are sharing it with an audience. You are giving the story to someone else.
All right, we want to give you, the listener, a moment to think and test your own instincts. I'm going to give you a short sentence with a blank space, and I want you to guess which word fits best. Say or tell.
Imagine you're leaving a coffee shop with your friend and you suddenly realize you forgot your umbrella inside. You turn to your friend and here is the sentence. Did I blank you that I lost my umbrella?
Which one sounds more natural to you? Did I say you that I lost my umbrella? Or did I tell you that I lost my umbrella? Take a moment to think about the ball throwing rule we just discussed.
If you guessed tell, you are absolutely right. The correct sentence is, did I tell you that I lost my umbrella? The key clue there is the word you. Because you is the target catching the information, we have to use tell. If you guessed say, don't worry. It just takes a little practice to train your ear to look for that target person.
Let's put all of this into a real-life conversation. Hearing the words flow naturally in a back-and-forth dialogue is the best way to internalize them. Let's imagine Emma and I are planning a quick weekend trip to a nearby city, but we are having some minor communication issues.
Okay, I love a weekend trip scenario. I'll start us off. Hey Ryan, did you talk to the hotel manager about our reservation?
Yes, I called him this morning. He told me that our room is ready, but we can't check in until 3 p.m.
Really? That's a bit frustrating. The website said that early check in was available for all guests this weekend.
I know, I read that too. I said exactly that to the manager on the phone.
And what did he say?
He said he was sorry, but the cleaning staff is running behind schedule today. He told me they would hold our luggage for us, though, so we don't have to carry it around.
Well, I guess that's fine. Next time, remind me to call ahead. Don't tell me everything is confirmed until you actually speak to a real person.
Let's break down that conversation and look at how we naturally used both words. First, I answered Emma by saying, "He told me that our room is ready."
Ryan used told because the hotel manager gave the information directly to him over the phone. Me is the target catching the ball.
Then Emma replied, "The website said that early check-in was available."
I used said because a website isn't a person throwing a ball to someone. The website is just displaying words on a screen for anyone to read. There is no specific target receiving it.
Later, I explained my reaction to the manager. I used our little bridge rule. I said exactly that to the manager. I focused heavily on my words, but I used the word to show who I was talking to.
Then I asked, "What did he say?" I wanted to know the exact words the manager used to explain the situation. I didn't need to know who he was talking to, because I already knew he was talking to Ryan.
And finally, I summarized the result. He told me they would hold our luggage. Again, bringing the focus back to the direct message I received. It really is a conversational dance between the words being spoken and the people listening.
To wrap everything up, let's do a very simple summary. When you are speaking English and choosing between these two words, just ask yourself one quick question. Am I mentioning the person who is listening?
If the answer is yes, and you are mentioning the person immediately, like me, you, him, her, or Sarah, you must use tell. For example, tell me your name. I told John the good news.
If the answer is no and you are just focusing on the words that were spoken, you use say. For example, she said good morning. What did he say?
And don't forget the special exceptions. We always tell a story, tell a joke, and tell the truth. If you keep those simple guidelines in mind, you will sound incredibly natural and clear.
And remember, if you make a mistake and accidentally say, she said me, people will still understand exactly what you mean. The context is usually clear enough. Communication and connection are the most important parts, so don't let the fear of making a small mistake stop you from speaking.
All right, that brings us to the end of today's episode.
We hope this conversation helped make English feel clearer and more natural for you.
Remember, progress comes from small daily practice.
And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to the English Cast so you don't miss the next one.
Thanks for listening.
And as always, keep learning, keep speaking, and keep connecting. Thanks for spending your time with us. We'll see you in the next episode.